Self-employed expenses. Question I get from client time and time again as a self-employed business owner, that is sole trader or partnership which is not incorporated, that what expenses can I claim that will give me income tax relief on my tax return. To know more, please watch this video. Hi, my name is Gagananand. My mission is to empower individuals and businesses with knowledge and service to help them achieve their financial goals. Today, we will discuss expenses for medical professionals, but not limited to doctors, nurses, hospital doctor, GP, healthcare worker, physiotherapist, osteopath, pharmacist, locum, dietitian, or any other medical service sector service providers. In this video, the topic we will cover is what is tax deductible and allowable expense, principle of wholly exclusively for the purpose of trade or business, common tax deductible expenses, and record keeping. There is no definite guide given by HMRC to which expenses are tax deductible or allowable, and even those that are not. It depends on the business to business. A same expense will be tax deductible for one business and it will not for another. Generally speaking, any expenses incurred for the performance of business, that is to generate revenue, are business expenses, but these expenses will be tax deductible or not will be determined by the principle of wholly and exclusively, which we're going to see in next slide. The principle of wholly and exclusively. This is a very important principle and worth understanding if you are in self-employment business, irrelevant of you are in medical business or not. In any self-employment business, either you are electrician, plumber, graphic designer, hairdresser, any business, these principles apply universally to any sole trader business or self-employment business. Any expense incurred should be wholly, exclusively, and necessarily for the purpose of trade or business. And the keyword here are wholly, exclusively, and necessarily. The expense should be wholly and exclusively and necessarily for the business. So, for example, a doctor consultant has spent £500 on business suit, a clothing item. That is not a taxable expense because it is not wholly and exclusively, but it is not a necessarily expense for the business because it has a duality of purpose, as this suit can be worn somewhere personally as well as after the business hours as well. On the other hand, whereas another business like a physiotherapist, likewise, they spend £500 on uniform or a special protective clothing, is an allowable expense as it is wholly, exclusively, and necessarily for the use of the business or trade purposes. We will discuss the common expenses as per the categories of expenses listed in next slide. I will go through this list of category of expenses, explain what type of expenses can be claimed under each category for medical professionals like hospital doctors, consultants, locum, GP, pharmacist, physiotherapist, osteopath, chiropractors, dentist, dietitian, or any other service providing businesses. The general list is cost of goods bought for resale or use in business, wages and salaries, car, van and travel expenses, rent, rate, power and insurance cost, repair and maintenance, and so on. Let's begin with cost of goods bought for resale or goods use. These are the cost of any material you consume in your business or you sell to your customers. For example, if you have a dental practice, you will have medicines, vaccines, ointments, any material used in medical procedure, dressing, any bandage, any mask, any protective gloves, all these items which you use in your business, or let's say a tissue roll, any PPE. If you're a physiotherapist, you use that towels, you use a sheet on the beds, all these other material you consume into your business, or any equipment you sell to your customers, like any stretch bands or any small dumbbells for the exercises if you're a physiotherapist, or if you are health coach trainer, you sell those equipments. So all these items will go under this head. Second one is wages, salaries and other costs. If you hire any staff, is that nurse, receptionist, locum, or a cleaner, or an administrative staff, any wages to pay to these staff, including any national insurance or any pension contribution you pay on their behalf, they are all tax deductible expense. And if you hire any freelancer, let's say you hire some freelancer who does your social media advertisement or any Google advert or maintain your website, or any fees paid to them are also tax deductible under this head. The next one is car, van and travel expenses. Business travel costs are tax deductible, but we have to be very careful how we claim the motor expense. If you're driving a personal car for business use, you can claim mileage allowance provided you keep a complete business mileage record. So if you are using a personal car for business use, you have to keep a mileage record. You have to keep a date, time, how many miles you drove and for what purpose. You have to keep a proper mileage record, and you can claim 45p for first 10,000 miles and 25p for additional miles you drove in a year. Very important point to note, any journeys made from home to work travel is not tax allowable business expense, because those are commute. Those are not a business journeys. If your business owns a car, then you have to disallow for personal use. This means you cannot claim full expense of the business car like road tax, MOT, insurance, fuel, repair cost, or any other cost of the business vehicle. You have to account for personal use also if there's a personal use involved. So you have to disallow some proportion of that expense. Next one is subsistence cost, where you take a meal or a drink during the course of the business travel is also tax deductible, but anything you consume should be on business travel only, not on personal travel or leisure. Accommodation costs are also allowable where the travel is allowable as a business travel. If the travel is for the business journeys, then you can. Bear in mind that all these expenses should follow the principle of wholly and exclusively as per HMRC manual, because HMRC look into very depth of these expenses when they want to investigate your tax return. Next one is rent, rate, power and insurance costs. So any insurance like public liability insurance, any professional indemnity insurance, any professional indemnity for doctors, for locums, for pharmacists, all this insurance cost, any rent or utility cost of surgery or business, any GP surgery, any physiotherapist surgery, any chiropractor surgery, any rent or any utility cost or any premises associated cost you pay will be classed under this head. An allowance for use of home or office or for an office or a consulting room can also be deductible. So if you're a physiotherapist or you are a chiropractor or you're a psychologist, you're working from home, you have one room set up for consultancy or for treatment room, this is available for those who so those businesses. If you are using your one room in your home for all these treatment rooms or consultancy room into your main resident, then you can have this expenses business administration at home. There are two ways to claim the cost. One, you can claim a flat rate deduction with no evidence required. Second one is on actual cost, where you claim a proportion of the cost, including a share of your council tax, home insurance, mortgage interest or rent, utilities or water rates. All these costs, you will take a proportion. There are few methods described by HMRC. One is apportionment method on the basis of the square footage area, or there's an apportionment method on the basis of how many number of rooms you have and what rooms you're using for business purposes. So if there are two methods, one is fixed rate, one is actual cost based. So fixed rate is very simple. If you're working certain number of hours from home, then you can claim a fixed rate. There's a guidance on HMRC website. And if you want to go on actual cost method, then you have to keep an enhanced record or an enhanced spreadsheet calculation to demonstrate how you arrived at that cost and why you're claiming that. Please bear in mind, there's a special guidance on what and how to claim for use of home expense in business if you choose to go on actual basis. So please refer the HMRC guidance. Another one is repair and maintenance of property and equipment. Small item of equipment can be claimed as expense if they have a life of less than 2 years. Scissors, small drills, stethoscope, any blood pressure monitors or cuff, any blood sugar monitors, or if you're paying any repair costs for that equipment, or any other repair done to a business premises, are also tax deductible expense. Another one is phone, fax, stationery, other office costs. This is very simple. Any business use of mobile or home phone, cost of any appointment booking system, online appointment software, any pen, paper, ink, stamps, envelopes used in the business, trade magazines, periodicals used to keep you up to date, any magazines bought solely for customer use while waiting for or during an appointments, subscription to IT cost or any software used for your business, example bookkeeping software, any office softwares, or any business app or any mobile app application you use in your business. All these costs can be claimed under this tax, phone, fax, stationery, and other office cost. If you're a medical professional like physiotherapist or an osteopath, giving adverts in paper magazine, in newspapers or magazines, or like Google AdWord or Facebook or Instagram, cost of running a website, all these come under this category and are allowable expenses. Cost of financing the purchase of business equipment or working capital, like interest paid on business loans or any business overdraft, or if you're a GP, or any interest paid on financing capital contribution to the partnership share you purchase, you can claim a tax deductible expense. Or any sort of interest you paid if you have taken any equipment on loan, any interest on that, all these go under the interest on bank or other loan cost. If you're running a private GP practice, or you're a chiropractor or physiotherapist, and you're taking a card payment from your clients or your patient, then any bank charges or credit card charges or any financial charges you incurred, any charges you incurred for the payment gateways, these are all business expense and they are all allowable. Another one is any legal professional fees or any accountancy fees. That's a very important one. So any association or any professional body membership fees or subscription you paid are allowed, like GMC fees, Royal College of Anesthesia, Royal College of Physiotherapists, any Royal College fees, membership fees paid are tax deductible expenses. However, there is a HMRC approved list of membership, which is called HMRC approved list 3. You can check your organization or governing body is listed there. Then you can 100% claim that as an expense, and that's allowable if your organization falls under that list, and any fees paid to these bodies are allowable expense. Any accountancy fees you pay to your accountant to do your tax return or to do your self-employment accounts is also an allowable expense. Any legal fees paid to solicitor to draw an employment contract or a lease agreement or any other sort of contract are also allowable, subject to wholly exclusively principle. Training cost, where you are keeping skills up to date, like any CPD cost incurred by medical professionals, are also allowable expense. Fees, other business expenses, any fees paid to hospitals or surgeries for the use of the equipment or facilities or staff, or any protective clothing or any disposable PPE or any face masks, gloves or aprons, any laundry cost of towel, protective clothing, or any uniforms, or any cost of uniforms where you have to wear one or where you have to have a logo on that. All these costs are deductible, but important point to note is you cannot claim any ordinary clothing. So any ordinary clothing either you wear into your course of business is still not an allowable expense. Last but not the least, this is a trading allowance. This is not an expense. So if you don't have any expense to claim, then you can claim a flat allowance of £1,000 from your self-employment income. This usually applies to part-time locum nurses, doctors, pharmacists, consultants who just do a very little work during the year, maybe very less work, and they don't incur any allowable expense to claim through their business. In that case, they can take £1,000 flat allowance from their total income or revenue without claiming any other expense. Or if your expenses are less than £1,000 a year, then it's better to claim this allowance rather than an actual expense incurred if you are self-employed. Any expenses, now we'll come to the record keeping. Any expenses you claimed You need to keep record or evidence for 7 years. You will not need record immediately at the time of filing your tax return, but if HMRC chooses to investigate your tax return, they will expect a record from you, and failure to provide can result in expense claim disallowed and can charge a penalty and tax on the additional tax due to the expense disallowed. So make sure you keep a proper record of any expense you are claiming, any invoice, receipts, any bank statement to prove that. So make sure you have a proper record in your custody. I have tried to cover some expenses in this video, but the list is very extensive and impossible to capture every type of expense in the video. I hope this has given you an idea of what expenses you can claim and under what head. We do provide an accountancy service for self-employed people in medical profession. You can contact us for the preparation and submission of your accounts and tax return. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel for more videos. Goodbye for now.